Bismillahir-Rahmanir-Rahim. Our story goes back to the 11th century before Christ, to the upper basin of the Nile River, in the land that is today Sudan and southern Egypt. It was one of the most turbulent periods of the ancient world. In that dusty land, where the power of the Egyptian pharaohs was felt, the Nubian people were trying to protect their own identity, and in that time, a child was born. His name was Loqman. He was not born in silk cloths inside palaces. As all sources agree, he came into life as a slave, with dark skin, thick lips, and a simple appearance. In that land called Nubia, slavery existed, but it was not based on race. The Nubian people were black, and they could be slaves, soldiers, government workers, leaders, and masters at the same time. Loqman's father, Bora, was only one of tens of thousands who were turned into slaves by society. And Loqman's roots went back to the ancient African lands fed by the rich waters of the Nile, to Nubia, and according to some sources, to Habasha. Northern parts of Egypt and Sudan were under the control of the Egyptian kingdom. Egypt took gold, ivory, exotic animals, and yes, human labor, slaves, from this region. In that time, the main source of slavery was not race, but war. When the Egyptians attacked the south, they captured Nubians and took them to Egypt as slaves. But when the Nubians defeated the Egyptians, they also took Egyptians as slaves. Loqman grew up in this chaotic period of war. His childhood did not pass with games like other children, but with heavy work and deep silence. As a slave child, people expected only obedience from him, but Loqman had something different inside him, something his masters and the people around him could not understand. He liked listening more than speaking, and watching more than playing. Even when he was very young, he studied the cycle of nature, the movement of animals, and the growth of plants with amazing attention. They say that while everyone was awake during the day, he would fall into deep thoughts, and at night he would watch the sky. There are different stories about his job, but we know that his childhood and early youth were spent in work where he could stay away from people and close to nature. Some say he was a shepherd and learned the plants of the mountains while feeding his herd. Some say he was a carpenter's apprentice and discovered the secrets inside the wood there. But one thing is certain. While he grew up with rough hands and slave clothes, a wisdom was forming in his mind, a wisdom that even the kings of that time did not have. Luqman, who worked as a shepherd and as a slave with his family in the countryside under the orders of his masters until his youth, began to notice his connection with plants when he was 17 years old. When he